I will defend her." The words exploded through the silent courtroom like a thunderclap. Every head turned at once. Standing near the back wall, still holding a worn mop handle, was the last person anyone expected to speak, the janitor. For a moment, nobody moved. The air felt heavy, charged, like the seconds before a storm breaks. At the defense table, billionaire entrepreneur Victoria Hale sat frozen, her perfectly composed mask finally cracking. Her lawyer's chair beside her was empty. He had just walked out, not 5 minutes earlier. The high-powered attorney had gathered his expensive briefcase, leaned down, and whispered something sharp into Victoria's ear. Her face had drained of color. Then he stood, buttoned his suit, and calmly told the judge he was withdrawing from the case due to irreconcilable differences. And just like that, he was gone. The media cameras loved it. Flashbulbs popped wildly from the back of the courtroom. Reporters whispered urgently into their microphones. Social media was probably already exploding with headlines about the fallen billionaire finally meeting her downfall. Victoria sat alone. Until now, the judge adjusted his glasses slowly, clearly irritated. "Sir, this is a court of law. State your name and explain yourself." The janitor stepped forward, nervous but steady. His navy uniform was clean but clearly old, and the name patch on his chest read, "Elliot, my name is Elliot Hayes, Your Honor," he said, voice calm but firm. "And I believe Miss Hale is being railroaded." A wave of murmurs swept the courtroom. Victoria turned fully toward him for the first time, her sharp blue eyes scanning his face. She had never seen this man before. Not in her company. Not in her life, but there was something in his expression, certainty. The prosecutor smirked. "Your Honor, with respect, this is absurd. We are in the middle of a billion-dollar fraud trial, not an open mic night." Light laughter rippled from the gallery. Elliot didn't flinch. Instead, he took 3 slow steps forward, stopping just behind the defense table. "Permission to approach, Your Honor." The judge hesitated. Something about the man's composure was unusual. "Granted." Briefly. Victoria watched him carefully as he came closer. Up close, she noticed details others might miss, the way he held his shoulders, the sharp intelligence in his eyes, the quiet confidence in his posture. This was no ordinary janitor. Elliot placed his mop gently against the wall and reached into the pocket of his worn jumpsuit. Gasps echoed when he pulled out a neatly folded document. "Your Honor," Elliot said, voice steady, "Miss Hale's previous counsel withdrew because he knew what I know." The prosecutor's smile faded slightly. The judge leaned forward. "And what exactly do you know, Mr. Hayes?" Elliot unfolded the paper slowly. "The financial timeline used by the prosecution is wrong." The room erupted. Victoria's breath caught. 4 weeks. Her entire defense had revolved around that timeline, the one piece of evidence that painted her as guilty. Her legal team had tried to challenge it, and failed. The prosecutor slammed a hand on the table. "Objection. This man is not counsel." "Overruled," the judge said sharply, eyes still locked on Elliot. "Continue." The tension in the room became electric. Elliot walked to the evidence screen and, with quiet confidence, pointed to a specific date. "This transfer," he said, "was logged at 2:14 a.m. But the bank server that processed it was offline for maintenance between midnight and 6 a.m. That transaction could not have happened when the prosecution claims. Silence, deep, heavy. The prosecutor's face went pale. Victoria's heart began to pound so loudly she was sure everyone could hear it. The judge's voice dropped lower. "Mr. Hayes, how do you know this?" For the first time, Elliot hesitated, then he met the judge's gaze directly. "Because I used to design forensic audit systems for federal financial investigations." The courtroom exploded. Reporters leapt to their feet. Cameras flashed like lightning. The prosecutor's confidence visibly cracked. Victoria stared at Elliot in complete shock. "You're not just a janitor," she whispered. Elliot finally looked at her, and for the first time, a faint, knowing smile touched his lips. "No, ma'am," he said quietly. "I'm not." The judge slammed the gavel. "Order." It took nearly 30 seconds for the courtroom to settle. When the noise finally died down, the judge leaned back slowly, studying Elliot with new interest. "Mr. Hayes, are you formally requesting to represent the defendant? Elliot's jaw tightened. This was the moment. He glanced briefly at Victoria, the powerful billionaire now sitting alone, betrayed, and seconds from losing everything. Then he turned back to the bench. Yes, Your Honor, he said firmly. I will defend her. Victoria felt something she hadn't felt in weeks, hope. But across the courtroom, the prosecutor was already smiling again, slow, dangerous, confident, because he knew something Elliot didn't, and the real battle was only just beginning. If this story pulled you in and you want more powerful, emotional twists like this, make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell, because the next story might be even more shocking.